Have you ever found yourself standing on the edge of something totally new, just terrified to take that first step? Or maybe you've been completely lost, just hoping that some kind of guide would appear out of thin air. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today, through two really powerful tales about one of humanity's oldest dreams, the dream of flying. This one sentence really sets the stage for everything. It's this deep desire that connects all of us, across centuries, across cultures. And the two stories we're about to get into, they tap directly into this primal fascination, but they look at it from two totally different angles. One is about the battle inside your own head, and the other, well, that's a battle against the world outside. So here they are, our two stories, side by side. First, in his first flight, you've got a creature that was literally born to fly, a seagull, who was just paralyzed by his own fear. Then, in the black airplane, we have a human pilot, a master of his machine, who's suddenly made helpless by this monstrous force of nature. Two flights and two very, very different kinds of fear. Okay, so let's start with our young seagull. His story is just this classic tale of the battle within. That paralyzing gap between what we're capable of and what we think we're capable of. It's really a fight against that nagging voice of self-doubt we all have. So here he is, all alone on his ledge. Just try to picture this. His two brothers and his sister, they've already flown. They're out there, they're soaring, skimming the waves, basically living the life he was born for. But him, he's stuck, just watching from the sidelines, completely trapped by his own terror. What's so interesting here, it's how specific his fear is. It's not just some vague anxiety. No, he looks at this vast sea, miles down, he says, and he becomes absolutely certain his wings are going to fail him. Now, this belief is totally irrational. I mean, even his siblings who have smaller wings, they did it. But then again, since when has fear ever been rational? And his family's response to all this? Oh, it's tough love for sure. They don't coddle him. They call him a coward, they taunt him, and then they deliver this ultimatum. It sounds harsh, right? But they know something he doesn't. The only way you conquer the fear of flying is to actually fly. And he holds out for a full day. That's 24 hours, all alone, no food, just watching his family perfect their flying skills. The sun is blazing, his hunger is growing, and so is his desperation. And this passage of time is so important, it's what starts to wear down his resistance. And this is where his mother's genius plan comes into play. She sees how desperate he is, and she uses it. She flies right towards him with a piece of fish, the one thing he wants more than anything. But she stops, just out of his reach. It's a brilliant, instinct-driven move. This is it. This is the turning point. His hunger, that primal need to survive, it just becomes way more powerful than his fear of falling. That maddening side of the fish is the final push he needs to just override his own anxious mind. And get this, he doesn't choose to fly. He chooses the fish. He dives for it, and in that moment, he just falls. It's not some brave leap, it's a desperate plunge, a complete surrender to his instincts. For one terrifying second, his absolute worst fears come true. He is falling. There's no thought, no control, just this pure, monstrous terror. This is the absolute peak of his fear, that moment where he is certain he has failed. But then, instinct just takes over. His body knows exactly what to do, even when his mind is completely frozen in fear. His wings catch the wind, and suddenly, he's not falling anymore. He's soaring. He can feel the air underneath him, and the fear just melts away. He was a flyer all along. All right, let's switch gears and move to our second story. We're shifting from a battle inside the mind to a battle against the elements. And the whole tone just changes completely, from this internal drama to a high-stakes thriller. So, this story kicks off with total calm. We've got a pilot flying his old, reliable Dakota plane. The sky is clear, he's cruising above a sleeping countryside, and he's just dreaming about being home with his family for a big English breakfast. Everything is absolutely perfect. But then this happens. Out of the calm, a wall of storm clouds appears, and he describes them as black mountains. He can't fly over them, and he doesn't have enough fuel to go around them, so he has a choice. Turn back or risk it all for that breakfast at home. And yeah, he risks it. And almost immediately, his world just falls apart. Inside the storm, everything is black. The plane is jumping and twisting around. He looks to his instruments for some kind of guidance, and the first thing to go is his compass. Boom. He has no direction. And then his lifeline gets cut.
The radio goes dead, so now he has no direction and no one to call for help. He is completely, utterly alone, just lost in a sea of black cloud.
And in that moment of just total desperation, when it seems like all is lost, something impossible happens. A little glimmer of hope appears right there in the darkness.
He sees another plane, a strange black airplane with absolutely no lights on its wings. And the pilot in that plane sees him, lifts a hand, and waves, basically saying, "Follow me." It's a guide, a savior, appearing from literally nowhere.
And like an obedient child, as he puts it, he follows this mysterious guide. For a whole half an hour, he stays right behind him, until suddenly they break through the clouds. And there it is, a runway, an airport. He made it. He's safe. So he lands, walks over to the control tower, totally relieved, and he's ready to thank the other pilot. But when he asks the woman there about the strange black plane, she just looks at him, confused. She tells him no other planes were in the sky that night, not in that storm. His was the only one on the radar. The black aeroplane, his rescuer, it was never there. So what we're left with are two very different stories, right? And yet they're woven together with these incredibly powerful shared themes. Let's break it down side by side. This table really lays out the parallel structure perfectly. You see, the seagull faces an internal challenge, his own fear. He's motivated by a primal need, hunger. And his guide is tangible, real. It's his mother. The pilot, on the other hand, faces an external challenge, the storm. He's motivated by a very human desire to get home. And his guide is something else entirely, inexplicable, maybe even supernatural. You know, in the end, both of these stories are about taking that plunge. The seagull was pushed by hunger, the pilot was pulled by hope. One guide was a mother's clever trick, the other was a total mystery. And it really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about in our own lives. When we are at our most lost or our most afraid, what is it that truly guides us through the storm?